You really left the two of them speechless.
I still can't believe you did that to me!
Excuse me? Don't forget that was for your benefit, too. I had a lot of covering up to do to keep things under wraps.
There were a million other ways you could have handled that, and you knew it!
You should be thanking me, not blaming me for your personal problems.
about this.
You stay out of this. Yes, I'm sorry for interrupting.
Hello everybody, Megazodexer, back at it again to give y'all another very exciting video, and for today I'm going to be reviewing a certain scientific Railgun T episode 16 called Dream Ranker. If you haven't already done so, you can go ahead and click that card in the corner to check out my episode 15 review for Railgun T. If you just so happen to miss it or you need to get caught up, get refreshed or whatever, as I'm about to go ahead and start this episode 16 review. But man, I gotta say, with this one, oh man, it's been a while. It's been a really good long while since I've seen an anime be able to do a transitional episode from going from one art to the other, with our case scenario going from the Daihasei Festival art to the Dream Ranker art, in such a way where I think they provided just enough comedy, just enough plot, and just enough, this gave you just enough of an itch to know what is going to be coming up next, that I think this just worked as a perfect transition episode from going from the Daihasei Festival art to the Dream Ranker art. And I definitely gotta say, Junko was definitely the star, at least in my personal opinion. Junko was definitely the star of this episode. Just the kind of reactions that she had with Misaka, as well as Shokuhou as well. I just thought that she, did an excellent job in this episode. Even though she doesn't really have a big major role within the whole Railgun series as a whole, though, it's just really nice to kind of see her personality kind of show off within this one episode, though. But I got quite a bit of stuff to say about this episode, though, so without any further ado, let's go ahead and dive straight up into this episode review of a certain scientific Railgun T. Now enjoy this brand spanking new hot take intro. Episode 16 begins this installment's second arc, which, unlike a certain scientific Railgun S, it's fully based on the manga source material, the Dream Ranker arc, which consists of volumes 11 through 13 of the manga, for people that kind of want to figure out exactly where we're at in terms of our point within the story compared to the source material. Now, obviously, since we're talking about Railgun, it is still a side series of a magical index, though, so there's always that timeline. So let's go ahead and break this down exactly where we're at within the whole entire Toaru timeline. So these events take place roughly about a week after episode 15, and they start during the second day of the Queen of the Ardraig Sea arc in a certain magical index season 2, which is roughly episodes 14 through 16 to be precise. It involves a game called Indian Poker, which has a wholly different context here than the game some people might have grown up with. In its original form, Indian Poker involves holding a card face out to your forehead so that everyone but you can see what it is. Then, betting based upon what cards you see everyone else has and how everyone else is, betting. The only part of that which is, retained here is the card on the forehead part. And even then, participants are, not forbidden to looking at, or are not forbidden to look at them, so they just place them on their foreheads as they sleep. Will the rest of the concept come into play later on? It does not seem immediately relevant. Basically, this is a dream sharing scenario, with the mysterious Dream Ranker being an individual who can create high quality dreams for others. One is introduced in this episode, and while he's only around long enough for him to make Misaka and Shokuhou extremely mad by implying that he's made, lewd dreams of both of them, I suspect that he is going to be, be a character that's going to provide a major role going forward. Okay, before I go any further in this review, I definitely got to talk about that one little scene right there, though, because it was just so funny, but yet so mixed and so messed up during that moment where that dude was just, talking with a bunch of other dudes. He's like, oh yeah, these two girls from Tokyo died? Yeah, you see Shokuhou with that body over there? Yeah, I got blank, 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 blank. Like, they literally had to censor the words what he was actually saying, and then they started talking about Misaka Misaka, like, oh, we did blank, and you can blank with the blank. I was like, dang, I didn't know whether or not to laugh or hold back or just get mad. I was like, I was just over there with my mouth open, with my hand covering over my mouth, because I was like, I didn't know what to think though. But that was just a crazy moment in itself, and that whole scenario where Shokuhou and Misaka basically agreed to cooperate on punishing the offender while Junko comments on how they could make a perfect criminal team was probably my favorite part of the episode. I mean, there was a lot of good parts though, but that was definitely some type of a moment right there though. Now, the dream the fellow Gekida fan Junko shares with Misaka, aside from being quite amusing, shows the creative potential for this version of Indian poker, but I can also see vast potential for abuse here, which will no doubt be a feature element of this arc. The other side of this episode is the app, which allows people to not only see annotations on accident sites when they're viewed through the phone, but also see where the accident is going to happen. And of course, Satin is the one who manages to run across it. Gosh darn it, girl, you need to relax, girl. All these problems that we see in the Railgun series, it always starts with you, Satin. It always does. Now, the way the accident that Kuroko was trying to stop did not quite play out as expected was a slick gimmick, and that brings into the picture of, Shy, which I hope I'm pronouncing that right though, but I'll go with Shy for now, who's this elementary boy behind it all, who was intent on bringing Kuroko and Uriharu into the picture anyway. The big question this episode raises is, of course, how these two seemingly disparate threads are going to wind up overlapping. The new opener indicates that Item will get involved at some point, so things will certainly get messy. This episode is just laying all the groundwork out for the bigger story and having a few lighthearted moments in the process, so the real action is yet to come. And that's basically all I have to say about this episode though. But man, as I said before with my earlier impressions before I got into my deep dive of the review I just finished up, man, this was definitely a really good, excellent transitional episode between the Daihasei Festival arc, now moving into the Dream Ranker arc, and it was honestly, I think it's those comedic effects blended perfectly in with some of the action moments that were taking place in the later half of the episode that was focused mainly around Uriharu and Kuroko. I just thought it just blended stuff together so nicely. Everything just sort of kind of complemented each other quite well. And it's just been a while since I've seen any anime show in general just have a really good transitional episode like this though. But definitely, yes, Junko is definitely the girl of this episode. And honestly, I really want to see more of her, but I don't think we're actually gonna, honestly see more of her. So that's just my own little personal wish though. But yeah, y'all gotta let me know down in the comment section down below, what all did you like about this episode as a whole? Did you like that moment where Misaka and Shokuhou were, going off on those two dudes like that? Or were you like me, who really enjoyed some of those Junko moments from the moment that she whipped off that thing off her hair and showed all of her, curly hair and stuff, and just all the different kind of comedic effects and playing off of Misaka's and Shokuhou's characters like that? Was it some of that you really like, or did you like some of that action stuff that sort of kind of make you itch to say, what is this Dream Ranker arc going to be about with these cards that people lay on their foreheads in order to have these certain kind of dreams that were created by these other dream makers or whatnot though. So just let me know what all you think about this episode below and what all you're really looking forward to within this arc though. But that's basically all I have to say about this review though. So if you really like this review, go ahead and hit that like button, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and that bell to stay up to date on all things a certain scientific Railgun tea that's happening in this season though. So remember y'all, until whatever video I make next, see y'all.
That kid! A passing car. Is this it? No, the locations are. Can I assume that you are the precognitive Esper? Your first guess was right. I'm the creator of the app. Don't worry. I won't run. I had planned on making contact with you sooner or later anyway.